Hey, it's Home Mechanic. We're about to work on our Thor makeover. Before we refurbish this one, what we want to do is just make sure the thing actually works. You know, if there's some major engine problem, shifting problem, we want to know about it before we take it apart and put it back together. So my mechanic guy and I, he actually had this thing on and running, and we could tell right off the bat from the choking and everything else, and it wasn't performing right. Need a carburetor kit. So this garage find, so this garage find, we already took the seat off, gas tank off, and the gas tank is full of mud, crud, blood in the beer. It's actually so nasty inside. We cost about 2 bottles of the anti-rust stuff is almost the price of 1 new tank. So I just went ahead and got another tank. I found one on eBay auction. I paid about less than $53 for a new tank on the auction. Felt like I got a good deal. Typical price is about 56 bucks. So, save $3. But, you know, wasn't that expensive. So, to do this carburetor, we got to do a few things to get to it. For one, for the basics, we need to take both these side pieces off. This one's still screwed in. We got to take it off and then get inside the breather department here. Look at this thing, it's full of leaves. That's how you find these sometime, but man, when we get done with it, hopefully it'll run, and then we'll take it for a nice little test drive around the hood just to make sure it shifts through the gears, and if it beats satisfactory, then we're gonna start the restore process. So let's get started. Oh man, there's a copper nest on the inside. Really? What the hell's that?
Air filter honestly does not look that bad.
We're having a dirt dauber in the nest. Oh, we got air. CMX 250C. Great, but we'll ride with it for now. Okay, last time I did this, I found out it's a whole lot easier to get this little bracket out of the way, all the little side panels on. So I found my favorite tool to get in there and do that. Keep rolling. Wrench set 10, 12. So with this out of the way, that carburetor move. See the screw back here behind the carburetor? Holds that little bracket on. Hold right there. See that little bracket? This Phillips head. This one's got turned around. Our other bike, the screw head's pointing the other way. So you can tell somebody's been messing with it. Ooh, almost took that all the way out. It don't need to come all the way out. It just needs to be loose. Okay, look inside here. This right here, you gotta sit there and move that in enough so that lip will clear. on squeezing that in. So that lip will come off the groove. And then the air duct will move back. So this is going to take some finagling. I'll be right back. There you go. So it actually goes on just as hard as it comes off. This is one of the, we got some vacuum line that goes down here. It's more like a overflow drainage. And it will actually just all come out. Okay. Let's work on these linkages real quick. Alright. So make sure you get them both cracked before I go loosening one. Sometimes I've had screws you have to tighten one just to get the other one, because when you loosen one, it actually puts more pressure on the next one. So that's how I've been doing it. You just take these two guys out completely. We can put them back on the carburetor here in a second. Set it down. This is our linkage line. And by loosening it up, you can usually get this easy side out first. Make a liar out of me, huh? Got that? Now, what I do is for all that slack there, just hit the throttle body some. That thing acts like it wants to pop out. Okay, I'll just move this up out of the way. All right, we get my just regular straight tin. Okay, we 10mm rich. I got two of them. Dang, good. Thing's already trying to jump out of there, man. I never saw that happen before. gotta take this choke cable out. That's our choke cable. And I actually forgot to loosen it before but it's usually not on very tight, so. And try to keep that clean. And it is nasty. Oh my God. No wonder this thing chokes and pukes and everything. So here's our throttle.
That looks disgusting.
It is. All these hoses got to come off, so I'm going to take the vacuum system off. And that's typically what I saw the last one. Drain screw and all that's just all nasty. Hard telling what it looks like on the inside. I'm just going to lay this here for now. We'll try to just clean that up a little bit. During the process, it's no big deal just to put these throttle cable mounting screws back in there for safe keepings. There we go. So we'll start talking about the parts when we get the kit. But you can look at this thing. Don't look like that seal's been leaking or it's been flooding out and just, you know, gooshing out somewhere here, like something's leaking, overflowing everywhere. Hard telling where the leak is, but hopefully we can get this cleaned up nice and kit address some of that. We'll open this thing up and put our kit in there and show you what gets replaced. But that is one gummed up piece of junk right there, I tell you. Usually my gasket stays in here. For some reason it stayed in the manifold, and it seems to be stuck in place. I'm just going to leave that there for now. You could always reach inside your manifold, and this one is a little bit more dirty, like the gas mixture maybe is picking up a lot of oil from there. I'm not sure, but for now, just go ahead and put the screw here, and find me one of those dollar store bags, shove a napkin in there or something, and keep that hole closed up so nothing funny falls in there. And we'll be back with cleaning the carburetor. As nasty as this is, sometimes I just use the parts cleaners brush, some gasoline or whatever mixture you use, and just scrub the outside with that first, and address some of this out here. I won't waste my good carburetor cleaner on the outside, so we'll just see what we can do about cleaning this up before we take it to the workbench. So hey, we're back. Spent some time working on cleaning the outside of the carburetor before we brought it into your dad's workshop. You know, this is actually Father's Day weekend here in the red, white, and blue, and you know, dear old dad is sometimes he's got some nice work benches, and sometimes they just got whatever they got, you know. And so we try to work with what we got. This old table was actually came from Germany, made out of maple, and it's nasty, but we've been working it, and I've been using it lately for a workbench here in our new move. We don't have a garage anymore, so, but that doesn't stop these home mechanics from getting something done. So here we bought one of these online. They didn't give me a packing slip. Hold on. Okay, so we picked up this kit, shipped pretty fast. The buyer on eBay is Transformers Us. I'd like to give a shout out to them. They worked with us, and we got the kit here pretty quick. So when I was online on their site, I noticed that they had a lot of carburetor kits. So if you're not working on a Honda, maybe you're working on a Yamaha V or a Kawasaki, give them a try. Okay, back to the Honda. Man, these screws, if you don't have the right size screwdriver, you might be in for a bad trip, because they are tight. Actually on there tighter than the last one I worked on. Okay. Well, these came off fairly easy. I just gonna leave them on there cracked for now. But these down here for the main body, they're on there pretty tight. And the guy hates strip out screws. There are some carburetor kits that come with all brand new screws down here. One to come loose. So what we're going to do is just leave him tied on there for now until we get them all. Try to budge. I finally got a second one loose. Third one. This last time I had problems with this same screw. It acts like it just wants to strip. So got a trick for that. Anytime. Don't go nowhere. Do not change channels. Sometimes I wish I had a baby set of these, something a little bit smaller, but sometimes if you get on the outside of that just right. What typically happens is this thing's full of gas, likely. It probably doesn't work, but we can find out. This is the drain. It will come all the way out, but that's clogged up. Must not be any gas in there. But there's usually a little bit in there. Now we got them all loose. It'll spin out.
Cricket's gone wild.
Cricket's gone wild. Sounds like a song.
Might be.
Okay, so it's 8mm. And to me, this is the easiest way to go. Got this assembly here. So we got washer, and that dude will come right off. Some people take this part also. If you're worried about losing this, you can take, it might just come right off. I typically just leave it on there wherever you're comfortable with. It seems to be stuck, so I don't think I'm going to lose it. And then the bottom of the throttle body will just come right on out. Oh my goodness, look inside there. Alright, we're back. So there's a little pin. Push down on one side, come over here and grab it with the other. Should just slip right out. I usually put a little pressure on that, keep it in place. And that's the part we're on. There's our float, and there's our float needle. Okay, so we got some needles here. If you think the screw's gonna be an issue, you could always just screw it back on. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. This gasket's history. We got another one in the kit. It'll lay right in there. It's actually two parts to this. You got this one, and I think in the other one that might or may not. That's what you're not supposed to do. 7mm. Okay. So this needle that comes all the way down actually goes inside this dude. This is part that won't be part of the kit. So what I'll do is I gotta wash this out. It's got little holes down here on the side. Don't go messing with those holes trying to pop something in there. We got some brushes, some nylon. I'm going to scrub that up, get this presentable again, clean the crud off. Look at that corrosion, everything else. Shoot some carburetor cleaner in there. At one point or another, I'll put my finger and close that hole off, shoot the carburetor in there, and let the stuff just pour out of those holes. Try to clean that out. So that's part of the cleaning process. There's a little cap that comes with it. And it too is supposed to be a hole that goes all the way through it. So I don't think that's part of the kit. It's something we're going to have to just clean. Here we got a another jet. This one actually came out fairly easy compared to the last carburetor like this. This jet doesn't look that bad. I'm gonna put it in there, but I think we actually got a replacement for that one. That's one of the idle jet. This one right here, if I remember right, this is the air adjustment. Air to gas ratio adjustment. Now, it comes from the factory with this really fancy little screw on there. That's how it looks like when it comes from the factory. The one that's in the kit, it don't come with that little handle screw on there. You actually just put that in there. It comes protected because that little needle, if it gets bent the wrong way or whatever, so be careful and put that back in. Here's the spring. And the spring seems to be stuck in there. There it goes. Looks like a little baby washer came out with the spring. So that came in there. That jet. There we go. So the next part to this is up here. So it's screw number 4.
Definitely
What
was
the
screw
hell's the
number
matter
2.
with screw number 4, man? That's one screw. Wow. Sad thing is on there so tight, and even when you got the right screwdriver, you keep trying to, and it strips. It just makes that screw even worse. I mean, crazy thing, it ain't got to be that tight. So notice when I'm taking this off, I'm actually keeping some pressure down, holding it down. Because there is a spring in there and a diaphragm. So, you know, it only goes in one way. You want to make sure you take special care of this diaphragm, because it only goes in, and if it gets damaged, it'll mess with the airflow. I'll show you later, but it pulls out with this other idling needle jet. And this is a little bit weird. Let me, I probably have to go dig up another tool. But this is ready to be cleaned out. What we'll do is we'll end up, some people, they got like this really nice bath and thing. You can put the whole thing in this carb cleaner, let it soak overnight. It's pretty friendly with the plastics and stuff, and it will, you know, clean it at the outside really nice. We don't have that. What we're going to end up having to do is hit some carb cleaner, and we'll probably blow out what we got to. There's stuck on crud on the inside. I mean, just take a look at the bottom of the bowl. That should explain everything. So this right here is actually overflow, so when you got too much gas, it lets it shoot out this way. This is a drain screw that we talked about earlier. And so all this is ready to be cleaned. And then one more thing, accelerator pump. And there we finally found the gas, man. It also has a spring. It's not too bad to put on, it only goes on one way, but it too needs to be cleaned. And it will actually,
I smell gas.
it will actually come all the way out. And this goes on there like so, but we'll put it off to the side. The one thing I did notice is this little hole right here, actually it breathes. It's not just there. Whenever you hit it with the air compressor or go shooting some stuff through there, you'll see that air flows through there. So if air flows through there, it means gas flows through there. But after I clean all this out, I'm gonna hit it with, I hit it with something, man. But all this crud, mud, rust, all that stuff, that's probably what the gas tank looks like. We're getting a new gas tank, so that's gonna fix that. The accelerator pump, one part of it shoots through here. It gets sucked in through one of these and it shoots out, I believe through here, through that thing. So one comes in here, the other one goes out there. And then from there, lines up with this hole. See that hole right there? Lines up with this hole. So whenever we get to cleaning this out, I have to shoot through there, probably blow some air through it first, hit it with carb cleaner, but that's part of the accelerator pump. Whenever you hit the accelerator, it opens that up and it sucks gas from the bottom of your tank. Look where it's sucking gas and how much crud muffins I got in there. Oh my word. No wonder this thing was choking and puking and coughing. I bet you this, you see where the seal is almost hitting the metal right here on this corner? Remember how dirty this was and it looked like gas was draining? And that gasket just looks all nasty. Hopefully with the new gasket in there, this thing's probably been over tightened. If you over tighten your gaskets, they get smashed down too far and your gasket doesn't work like it's supposed to. So you want your screws tight, but there is such thing as over tighten. And one last thing, down in here, I forget if that's 7 mil or not. I need to get an extension on my ratchet, but to get this needle out, I have to get inside. I don't know if you can see. You see inside that? See that little white screw? Okay, but it looks like Phillips. Phillips might work, but this thing is actually not a screw. It's a snap-on. So basically, instead of like unscrewing the whole thing to take it out, all you gotta do is give it like about a quarter of a turn and it pops out. And whenever you go back in, you line it all up and you gotta carefully get your needle back where it goes, and then you put that down on top of it and you snap it and push it back into place. It's a little weird. It's not a regular screw. It actually just, it feels like you're breaking it whenever you take it out. Last time I didn't use a screwdriver because I thought I was breaking it. Yeah, this one actually just came out like nobody's business. It has a little spring on there. And there's the other needle jet. Look how tarnished that is. One of the reasons why I like the kit that I got, this is from my first carburetor job. That is factory, silver, whatever, but I did have a few leftover parts. Our new kit comes with the new idle valve. It helps it idle, and it's made out of brass. It's one of the reasons why I picked this one also. But hey, we got some cleaning to do. It's gonna be a while. We'll be back with putting this back together. And so I think we're gonna call it night over here. We'll come back with clean parts. And more sunlight.